Hello. Are you finding any disturbance here? Because when I heard sir's lecture, I found that there is lot of disturbance. Do you find it uh, in my lecture even, or is it clear? Is it audible properly? Not much. I mean, whether the disturbance is not much or my voice is not much clear. Okay, fine. So we were discussing about IPv4 addressing in our last lecture, okay, and we had started with that. So let me share the screen so that you can be more clear. So this IPv4 address is used at the network layer, and this IPv4 address is the it is a unique address. Okay, so each machine, whoever is using the internet, they are having a unique address which is known as a IPv4 address. Okay, and this IPv4 address is provided by ICANN. There is a uh, association which would help, which would provide the IP address for a network. Fine, whoever wishes to use the internet, they can provide the IP address for that, and that address would be unique as well as it would be universal. No two machines would have the same IP address. Fine. So the ICANN would provide these addresses, and it is known as Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Addresses. Fine. And as we have discussed in our last lecture, that IPv4 address is of 32 bits, and it would be usually represented in the chunks of 8 bits. So, for example, this is the first 8 bit, this is the next 8 bit, and so on. So, these are the 32 bit, and either it can be represented in this binary notation, or it can be represented in the decimal notation. So this 8 bit chunk, its corresponding decimal number would be provided, and two numbers would be separated by a dot, by the dot. Okay, so for example, here you can see that this is some 32 bit address, and in this it is divided into chunks of 8 bits, and its corresponding decimal notation is here. So this is 129, this is 11, and so on. Okay, so which I think we had covered this thing, and will continue further. Similarly, if you are having this decimal notation, it can be converted to its corresponding binary notation. And like this, we are having around 32 bit. Every machine or every internet user is provided with this 32 bit IP address. Follow? Uh, there are certain errors which is here in these IP addresses which is provided. For example, in this particular example, this is 111, then dot 56 and dot 045. So in the IP address, you should, it should not be leaded with 0. Okay, it should be only 45, not with it should not be with 045. Fine. In the second example, you can see that there are five different numbers. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth. But as we know that the IP address would have only four decimal numbers, isn't it? So you don't. So this is there is an error in this because it is providing five different decimal numbers. And here in the third example, since this each number is the decimal equivalent of the 8 bit, isn't it? So, and as we know that the maximum value for the 8 bit would be equal to 255. Are you getting me? And here you can see that in this third digit, you are able to see here the number is exceeding 255. So that means there is a mistake here, or there is an error here. And here in the last example, it is a combination of the decimal number as well as the binary representation. Either you represent the IP address by binary, or you can represent it with decimal, but not in the combination of both binary as well as decimal. Okay, so these are some of the errors you find in while in this in the IP addresses. Follow? Now, when the IPv4 addressing was established, they used the concept of classes. Okay, so what do you mean by classes? So here, now the entire address space was divided into five classes: Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, as well as Class C. There are five classes. The address space is of 2 raised to 32, as we have already discussed, and these space were divided into five different classes. Now, in this class A, okay, by looking at if it is represented, if the IP address is represented by the binary notation, then by looking at the by looking at the first byte, we'll come to know in which class this particular address belongs to. For example, in this class A, by default, if the most significant bit is zero of the most significant byte, so it is a 4 byte address, 8 bit here, 8 bit here, and so on. And among these 4 bytes, in the most significant byte, the most significant bit of the most significant byte, if it is zero, it implies it is a class A address. Are you getting this? So if I convert it into its corresponding binary class A address, so what it would be? 0 followed by rest of the 7 bits would be 0. Okay. And 0, it would start from 0 with rest of the 7 bits as 0, as well as 0 with the rest of the 7 bits as 1. That would be the last class A address. So 0, so the range of in decimal of the class A address would be 0 to 127. Hope you are getting this. Why it is 127? Because the most significant bit is 0. By default, it should be 0. Then this IP address belongs to the class A address. Hope everyone is clear. Whereas for class B, for class B address, it starts with 1. The most significant bit is 1. The next bit is 0. Okay. So then the remaining 6 bits would range from zeros to 111, all ones. So in this case, for the class B address, it would range from 128 to 191. So how 191? This is 10 followed by 6 ones. So that forms my 191, and that would be my range of class B addresses. Are you able to follow this? Class A, class B. Okay. Whereas in class C addressing, okay, fine. Whereas in class C addressing, the first 3 bits are 110. Okay. And the remaining bits would be ranging from all zeros to all ones. Okay. So in that case, the range of class C address would be lying between 192 to 223. Okay. This is the class C address. Whereas the next two categories of classful address is class D as well as class C, where in this class D address, it is represented by 111 and 0. This indicates this is used for multicasting. Okay, so you know what is multicasting? If suppose we want to send some message not to a single host but a group of hosts should receive my message, that is known as a multicasting. Whereas what is the difference between broadcasting and multicasting? Broadcasting means all the users or all the hosts within the network should receive the message. So that is nothing but the broadcasting. Whereas if a subset of that network, okay, subset of the hosts which are in the network, if we want to send some message, then it is known as a multicasting. So this 1110, the higher order 4 bits, if it is 1110, then it is meant for the multicasting. Whereas the last four in the last category, if all these 4 bits are 1, that is used for the future enhancement, okay, or for further development. They have reserved these addresses for class E. Okay, and these are the range of addresses which are in each of these classes. Now, among this, you can see that the one which is marked with yellow, okay, so they form the network ID. Okay, they form the network ID. For example, uh, in class A, we are 128 network 128 IDs can be provided to different 128 organization, and each organization may have 2 raised to 8 8 16 24 2 raised to 24 host can be there in each of them. So 2 raised to 24, it corresponds to around 16 billion. Okay, so that we'll see here. Okay, so in class A, the number of blocks are 128 that we have discussed here, because it is ranging from 0 to 127. Okay, and the remaining 3 bytes can be used for the host ID. So you can see that the number of blocks are 128 and the size of each block is around 16 billion. And here we are using unicasting. That means only there would be a communication from one host to the another host. Only a single host can receive the message. Okay, so that is nothing but the unicasting. So here you can see that the number of blocks are only 128 and there are around 16 million users, or the block size is of 16 million. Similarly, in class B, 2 bytes are allocated, first as well as second. Okay, so the host ID would be of 2 bytes, and sorry, network ID of 2 bytes, and the host ID would be the remaining 2 bytes. Okay, so if it is 2 bytes, and as we know that it starts with 10 followed by all zeros, that is, it is ranging from 128 to 191. So the number of blocks what we are having would be equal to these 6 bits, 10 after 10, the remaining 6 bits here, as well as 8 bits here. 8 plus 6 is 14. So the number of blocks what we can have is around 2 raised to 14, which is approximately equal to 16,384. Are you getting this? How I am getting this number of blocks? Class B is having this 2 bytes as the network ID. Among these 2 bytes, the first 2 bits are reserved for to indicate the type of class. Here for class B it is 10. So now the remaining bits which are left to show the network ID would be 6 bits as well as 8 bits. So 8 plus 6 would be 14. So there would be how many network ID we can have? It would be 2 raised to 14. Whereas the number of hosts within that network can be 2 raised to 8 plus 8, that is 2 raised to 16. So 2 raised to 16 is around 64, or you can say 65536. Similarly, the same thing holds good for class C. How many bits it would be? These 5 bits, then 8 bit as well as 8 bits. So 8 plus 8, 16 plus 5, it is 21. Okay, so 2 raised to 21 would be the number of network ID. So this, it comes to be something like that. And 1 byte was left for the host ID, and that can be 1 byte corresponds to 256. So this is about the class A, class B as well as class C. Whereas for class D as well as class C, we can have the block size. As I said, class D is meant for the multicasting. So these many for each of this these many host different groups we can have for performing the multicast operation, and these many block size are left. It is reserved for the future use. So this is about the classful addressing. Now you can see that the number of the network ID is 128 and the block size is around 16 million. So you can you don't have any such a big organization which can use all this entire block size. Are you getting this? So earlier when they have used this classful addressing, they thought that this many addresses are enough for it might be enough. But as the internet the as the number of subscribers of the internet have been increased, this is not sufficient. Okay, here you can see that there are 128 such blocks, and this is the block size. So you can imagine that. And if say suppose some host or some customer has asked for a new IP address, and if that customer is assigned with class A address, then these many hosts can be I mean that customer would be provided with these many block size, I mean these many host ID it can have. But that customer may not use the entire these 16 million addresses. It may use around say suppose 100 or thousands of addresses. So in that case the remaining IP addresses which is remaining addresses would be wasted. Are you getting my point? Hello. Okay. If any customer is assigned any class A address, host network ID is provided from class A. But and as we know that in case of class A, you are having the block sizes of around 16 million. Even if it is a very bigger organization, and if they need some around thousands or lakhs of IP addresses, but still most of the IP addresses would be wasted. Okay, similarly here also you can see around 65,000 is there. So this is my these many hosts is connected to each of this network ID. So most of these IP addresses would be wasted since it may not be used by any network. Okay. So to overcome this, what they have done is they have split further these block size. This network is divided into further, and that is known as a subnet. Are you getting this? Hello. Okay, so instead of having a very bigger block size, now it is splitted into smaller block size, so that only part of that block is allocated to the customer, some other part of the block can be allocated for some other customer. Is it clear, all of you? Okay, so that breaking of these blocks to further breaking of these blocks is known as a subnetting. Whereas here you can see that only here there are two, the block size is 256. So I assume that all these addresses have already been allocated for the customers. Now if suppose I'm a new customer arrives and they want a block size of say suppose 1,000 users, in that case what they can do, they can combine such four such class C addresses to form a block of 1,000 addresses. Are you getting me? And that is known as a supernetting. Subnetting means what? The block size is divided further so that uh, to form a to form the subnet. Whereas supernetting means what? We are combining these blocks to make a bigger block. Subnetting means we are dividing the block, and in supernetting we are combining the block. Okay, hope everyone is clear, right? So now in classful address, so that's what I said. In classful addressing, a large part of the available addresses were wasted because the block size was too huge to be utilized by the subscribers. Now, if we want to find out the network ID of any address, okay. So as I said, here we have this 1 byte would be of network ID, and the rest of the 3 bytes would be of host ID for class A. For class B, 2 bytes would be network ID, and the remaining 2 bytes would be for the host ID, and so on. So here, if we want to find out that a particular ID, if it is in a class A, if I want to find out the network ID, okay, then what I can do is I can mask it. So this is also known as a it is a mask in which if it is a class A address, then the mask would be for the higher order 8 bits it would be 1, and the rest of all the for the host ID part it would be 0. So and its corresponding decimal notation would be 255.0.0.0. Okay, and or it can also be represented as CIDR, that is classless interdomain routing. So this is the notation. So what they'll write down the IP address slash, if here the mask is of 8 bits, so here what it will do, it would write slash 8. Okay, it is also known as a slash notation. Similarly for class B, if you want to find out the network ID, so how we have to do, uh, the first 2 bytes should be ones and the remaining 2 bytes should be zero, because these are the host IDs. So now what would be the subnet, what would be the mask for that? It will be 255.255.0.0, and or it can also be in the slash notation, it would be written slash 16. The same thing holds good for even the class C, where I am having 255.255.255.0 slash 8, 8 to the 16, 8 3 the 24, so it would be slash 24. Fine. So this is the default mask for classful addressing. So here I am talking about the classful addressing, where we are having a class like A, B as well as C. But as I said, due to this subnetting and supernetting, now instead of classful addressing, they have started with the classless addressing. Okay, because we they wanted to split this host ID so that the IP addresses can be utilized efficiently. Okay. So now the classful addressing, which is almost obsolete, that means it is almost none of them are using. It is replaced with the classless addressing. Follow? So we'll see how this classful and classless addressing would work. So any IPv4 address, okay, it is represented as a dotted notation. Like for example, first uh, uh, first number dot second number dot third number dot fourth number slash n, where represents the size of the mask. So n refers to, so in our class A n was 8, for class B n was 16, whereas for class C it is 24. Followed? And this slash n defines the mask. Right? Now, so we have already discussed that the first address in the block can be found by setting the rightmost 32 minus n bits to 0. If I want to find out what would be the first address in my network, okay, so what I have to do, the higher order n bit should be made 1, and the lower order n bit, the higher order n bits are made 1, and the lower order 32 minus n bits, the remaining n 30 bits should be made 0. Okay, so by making so, we will be able to find out the first address in the block. Okay, how to find the first address in the block? Based upon the mask, the higher order n bit should be made ones, and the remaining bits should be made zeros. So say suppose if I want, if say suppose this address is provided 205 point this, okay, slash 28. What does it mean? The 28 bits who should be 1. So what should be the network address for this? The remaining 4 bits, 29, 30, 31, 32. So the remaining 4 bits should be equal to 0. So what you have to do, if I want to find out the network address for this, so how can we do network address, which is also known as the first address of the block? So what you will do? So it is. Document should be concise, right? But at the same time, it must be unambiguous as well. It should be consistent, right? It should be complete, right? So this is the very first requirement of the SRS document. So I have to write 205.16. So all these are here, these are ones. So ending with this, if I convert this to its corresponding binary, ending with 255 or all these ones, it results to 205 itself. Then again ending with all ones, so it would be 16 itself. Again the next 8 bits If I am ending with all ones, it would be 37 itself. And if I want to find out the starting address, first address of the block, so 39, how will I write 36, 39, 0, 1, 16, 32. So 39 can be written as 32 plus 7. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the representation of 39, and it is given that slash 28. So the 8 bits are meant for the first 8 bits are here. The next 8 bits are here. 8 2s are 16. 8 3s are 24. Now 4 bits are left. So these are the 4 bits. Okay. So if I what I have to do, I have to make 32 minus n bits as 0. So 32 minus n is 28 here. So that I have to make it 0. So the resulting address would be the starting address of my block. So what is that resulting address? 0010 followed by all these zeros. It would be equal to 205.16.37 dot what should be the starting address? 0010, and these I have to make zeros. It is 28, so it would be equal to 32. So my starting of the block would be having the address as 205.16.37.32. Is it clear? This is how you will be able to find the starting address of a block. So suppose any random IP address is provided like this, with this decimal notation and with this mask size of the mask. So what you have to do, you can find out the starting address of the block by making the rest of the bits of this mask with 0. Okay, so that gives us the starting address of the block, so or the first address of the block. So this is what it does. So here it is 000. So this gives me starting address of the block. Okay, and how to find out the last address of the block? So instead of 0000, what I have to do, I have to provide this 1111. The remaining 4 bits should be all 11111. So that would give me the last address of the block. So what was the result? 32 plus 15 would be 47. So the last address of my block would be 47. Okay. So you can see that it is 205.16.37.47. Okay. Now, how to do this subnetting, that we'll see. As I said, any what are the classful addresses we have observed? Since due to the oversized size of the oversized block size, what we can do, we can further divide it into number of blocks, sub blocks, you can say, which is also known as a subnet. Okay, in the subnet, a network is divided into several smaller subnetworks, with each subnet having its own subnet address. So till now we had only we had only network ID as well as host ID. Now we also have one more part between these two, which is known as a subnet ID. Okay, or the subnet address will be provided. So we'll see how this subnet would work. Say suppose if I'm having a very big organization, or if there is no subnetting, and you can see that there is some packet which is passing through these routers to this subnet, you can imagine the size of the subnet. So you can see that this is since it is 141, it is a class B network. Okay, now 141.14.0.1. So it starts with this, and here the last address is 255.254. That means almost this network has how many hosts which is connected? 0 till 255, and this is for each of this again 255. So that means around 256 cross 256. These many hosts would be connected. Okay, but as we know that for each of this, the first address which is having all zeros, okay, in that ID. So that forms the network ID. Okay, and all ones in the subnet, if all of them in this host ID part, if all of them are ones, it refers to broadcasting. So two addresses among these among each group of address, two addresses are having some special purpose. In case of if the host ID part is all zeros, that is used for the network ID, and if the host ID part is all ones, then it shows that it is a broadcast for broadcast message for that particular network. Now you can imagine that the number of hosts, if I don't ignore, if I consider even this as a part of the host ID, then the number of uh, IDs which is provided to this network would be around these many computers or these many systems would be connected. 256 cross 256, which is a very huge, isn't it? So instead of this, what they are doing, they are dividing this into four different subnets. Okay, the same addresses. Okay, from 0.1 to 255.254, you can see that it is divided into four different subnets. In the first subnet, okay, it you can see that this is the first subnet. It starts from this particular address from 0.1, and the last address would be 63.254. Are you getting this? This is my, it starts from 0 here, the third byte, and the last byte of this is 255. That means now if I want to divide this into four subnets, then what I'll have, 0 till 63 would be having the first subnet, 64 till what is 64 plus 63 is 127 would be the next subnet, from 128 to 128 plus 63, it would be 191 for the next, for the third subnet, and 192 to 255 for the last one. Okay, so like this it would be, we are dividing the subnet. So 0.1 to 63.255, that forms my first subnet. Are you getting this? And within this each of that, you are having 256 again hosts. So I'm talking about this particular byte, I'm not talking about the last one, isn't it? For each of them, again you are having 256 bytes. So that's why you can see that this is 141.14.0.1, and in my example I'm dividing my network into four subnets. Okay, so that's why I'm dividing this 256 into 4. So it starts from 0 till 63.254, that would be the last address of this subnet. Then I'll start with 64.1 till 127.254, which we have seen here, 64 to 127. Then again from 128 to 191.254, and then 192.1 to 255.254. So this is my last subnet. This is the first subnet, second subnet, third subnet, as well as fourth subnet. Now you can see that by dividing this, the to the rest of the world, they are providing with the same subnet ID, with the same it is provided with this IP address. Okay, but internally you can see that it is divided into different subnet ID. Here it is having the subnet ID as 141.14.192.0. Here the subnet ID is changed to this value. Here the subnet ID has been changed to this, and here it is here. Okay, so you can see that externally to the outside world, to the rest of the internet, the ID or the address, IP address which is provided to this entire network is this one, but it can be further divided with subnet IDs these. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So we'll see one such example. How can we divide into subnets, and how can we provide the addresses to these subnets? Say, suppose we are having an organization, and it is given that block address. So the ICANN has provided the block address, this 17.12.40.0/26. Okay, so this is my block address, and this contains 64 addresses. Okay, some organization is there, and they want some 64 IP addresses is required by that organization. Follow? And that organization has 3 offices, and they need to divide this 64 addresses into among these 3 offices, something like this: 32, 16, as well as 16 addresses. Hope you are getting this. Okay. Now our aim is to find out to find the new mask. What would be the mask for this subnet mask? I mean to say, for each of these offices, what it is provided, and so how can we find it out? So there are certain rules for this subnetting. I think I missed it. Oh, okay, it will come further. Okay. It is given that the organization is provided with this address. So that means the first address would be this one. Okay. And /26 is the mask. And what would be the last address? Because it is, as we have seen, that the total addresses are 64 addresses. So the last address would be, if it is starting with 0, the last address should be 64. 63. So you can see that the last address would be 17.12.40.63. Are you getting this? This part is clear, all of you? The organization is provided with this address, so that would be the first address, and 64 such addresses would be required. So since we are starting with 0, the last address would be 63. Okay, so these are the 64 addresses. And it is given that the first subnet should have 32 address, the next should have 16 address, and the third should have 16 address. So our aim is to find out what are the range of addresses which is provided to each of the office of that organization. So how will you find out this? See, for 17.12.40. So these are 8 bits, 8 bits here also, 8 bits here also, dot. The mask is of 26 bits, so the next 2 bits should all be 1 for the mask. Are you getting this? This is 255. So all these are ones. 255, 255, dot, and the mask is of mask is 26 bits. That means 8 bits here, 8 bits here, 8 bits here, and the next 2 bits should be 1 1. Is it clear? That forms my 26 bits. Yes or no? Hello. Subnet mask. If you remember, the mask for class A is what? The higher order 8 bits are ones and the rest of all are zeros. The other 3 bytes are zeros. In class B, first 2 bytes would be ones, that is 255.255, and the other 2 are zeros. Are you getting me, all of you? And it is provided with /n notation. Are you getting, all of you? So in /n notation, here they have provided it as 26. So 8 bits for this, 8 bits for this, 8 bits for this, and 2 more bits from the last byte. That forms my subnet mask. Okay. Now, if I want to find out the first, if I want to provide the 32-bit address for the first subnet, so what I have to do? What addresses can be provided? So it should be from 00000 till 11111. Do you agree to this, all of you? This forms my 32 addresses. Are you getting, all of you? Okay. So that forms my 32-bit address, and you can see that among this last byte, only 5 bits have been utilized to provide the address, whereas 3 bits are left. Among these 3 bits, 2 bits are for the subnet mask. 2 bits are for that mask which is provided by the by the service provider, whereas 1 bit is left here. Are you getting all of you? Hello. Okay. So now what would be the subnet mask for this? It would be, instead of say 26 bits, it would be now 20. One more bit would be added. So now my subnet mask would be, the starting address for this subnet would be 17.12.40.0 slash, what would be the mask now? What should be the size of the mask? 8 bit here, 8 bit here, 8 bit here. 2 bits have already been provided and one more bit here, that forms the subnet mask for the first one. Are you getting this, all of you? How about others? Or I can also, we can also derive it like this. 2 raised to 32 minus the size of this, that is that minus let the size of this be n1, that should be equal to 32. Okay, this is what I require. 32 is the number of bits of the subnet mask. Okay, so what should I put in this n1 so that I get the value as 32? If the n1 value is, what should be the n1 value? N1 value should be 27. 2 raised to 32 minus 27, that means 2 raised to 5. Now this 2 raised to 5 is 32. Do you agree to this, all of you? Okay, so like this also you can find out. So that means the my subnet mask would be of now 27 bits. Now how about the second subnet? It would be, again, if I substitute here 2 raised to 32 minus n2, say suppose this is the number of bits for the subnet mask, and that should be equal to 16. So what should be the value here, so that so that I will get the value of 16, it should be 28. So for the second subnet, the subnet mask is of size 28 bits, and for the third subnet the same thing, because here also it is having 16 addresses, so it would be of 28 bits. Fine. Now I want to find out the range of addresses which is provided to each of the subnet. For the first subnet, the range of address is from 0 to 31, that we have seen, 0 to 31. Then for the next subnet, what should be the address? It should start from 32 to, here they have asked for 16 addresses. So 32 to 32 plus 16, it would be 48. So since I'm starting from 32, it would be 47. And then from 48 to, again 48 plus 16, it comes to be around 64. And that would be the, since I'm starting from 48, and this, the last address would be 63. Hope this is clear. So that's what we are getting here. Hope you are getting, all of you. Okay. So this we have already done, 27 bits, 28 bits and 28 bits. So now you can see that the address which is coming from the rest of the internet, it would be in this manner. 17.12.40.0/26. This is what we will get from the internet. Now there are 3 offices here, this one, the second and the third one. So for the first office, it has provided 32 addresses which is ranging from 0 till 31. But as I said, usually that the first address 0th one, it is used for the network ID. So you can see that here it is written the subnet ID 17.12.14.0/27. Whereas from 1 to 31, it is used for providing the addresses to the to this host. Now for the second subnet, this is subnet 2. Now you can see that the subnet ID would be now 17.12.14.32, that we have seen the starting address. It starts with 32. Okay, that would be my subnet ID, and that should be followed by /28, because now my mask has been changed from 26 to 28. Okay, and these are the addresses which is provided, 33 till 47. And for the last subnet, you can see that this is a subnet ID 48/28, and it is uh, the addresses are ranging from 48 to 63. But since 48 is already used, it is used for the subnet ID. If that would not be used to provide the IP address for any of the network, for any of the host into the network. Okay, so you can see here 26 bits are provided by the provider. It has for the first category, for the first subnet, 1 bit would be used as a prefix for the subnet, and the remaining 5 bits are for the host addresses. Whereas for the other two bits are used, isn't it? And then the remaining 4 bits are used as a host ID. Hope this is clear. So here it was /27, here it was /28. So 26 bits were already provided, 2 more bits were added for this subnet ID. Okay, hope everyone is clear with this. Now, while subnetting, there are certain things which has to be taken care. Okay, it is not that. Say suppose if on the other way, instead of dividing my block first by 32 addresses, then by 16, then by 16, what if we want to divide this block? First should be 16, first block should be of 16 address, then the next block should be of 32 address, and the third block should be of 16 address. So we'll try whether it is possible or not. Okay, let me do that. Everything is developed by software developer only, but it's just that they are into different. And then the natural goals of implementation function. To wrap this. So basically, goals of implementation are simply some general suggestions regarding the development. Right? So what my question is, what if I want to divide my block, first block should be of 16 host, or the subnet should be of 16 host, the next subnet should be of 31 host, 32 host, and so on. So how to divide it, that we'll see. Okay, so this is what it is already given. The total number of connections what we require is still 64 itself, right? So if I want to have in this form, first subnet should be of 16 address, so it would start with 17. And it starts with 17.12.40.0. What would be the last address if I'm having 16 such a host? Hello, what should be the last address? Functional requirement and non-functional requirement both. Are you getting me? In the earlier example, it was 32. So though if the first address is 0, the last address would be 31. So if I'm having 16, if the first address is 0, what should be the last address? It should be 15. Very good. So 17.12.40.15 would be my last address. And what should be the network mask here? Here it is 26. In that case, now it would be 28, because what I want is 2 raised to 32 minus some n1 equal to, it should be equal to 16. So this n1 should be equal to 28 bits. So this is what my network ID, this is how it would be represented for that subnet. Now what would be the, now I want a block of 32 addresses. So from what address it should start now? Right. So at the time of acceptance testing, hello, the first 16 addresses has already been allocated. Now I want to address for the next block of 32 host. It should start with 16. Do you agree to this? 17.12.40.16. I'll start. Okay. So If I represent this in the binary form, this last address of the first block in the binary form, this would be my last address. And my subnet mask, it would be of 28 bits, so 888 and the remaining 4. So here till the rest of the 24 bits, that would form my subnet mask. This is for the first example or first block. Now I have to start with 16, then 32 such hosts. So 16 plus 32 would be what? 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 48. So the last address for me, it would be 47. Do you agree to this, all of you? Hello. The first address for this 32 block subnet, it would be 16 and the last address would be 47. Do you agree to this or not? Okay. So what would be now the mask? What should be the mask you can see? Uh, uh, According to this equation, 2 raised to 32 minus n1 should be equal to 32. So this should be equal to 27 bits. So you can see that if I'm having this address as 16, so it would be 0, 0, 0, 1 followed by all zeros. This is my address 16. And how about 47? This is 16, 32. 0, 0, 1, 32 plus 50, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, this would be my last address if I am representing the 16 as well as 47 in binary. And according to the subnet mask, it should be of 27 bits. So the remaining 5 bits should not be considered into the subnet mask. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you are able to see here, is it ranging from 0000 to 1111? Are you getting my point? So is it possible to provide this 32 blocks after this address? See, in the host ID on in any subnet, it should start with zeros and end with all ones. This is what we all are aware. Here also, for the first block also, we are providing 0 till 50. Okay, so the lower order 4 bits were ranging from 0000 till 1111. Whereas here you can see it is starting with 1 followed by 3 zeros and ending with 0 followed by 4 ones. So is it possible to provide the mask here? And even if I'm providing the mask, can I? Is it possible whether they are in the same subnet mask? Because here it is 000 and here it is 0001. Is it possible? Okay, so this is a problem while providing the subnet. So now, can you tell me from what address I can provide the new subnet for the second block? From what address, if I put, then I can means this problem would be overcome. If I provide, if I start my address from 32 onwards. So 32 means what? 1 followed by. So if I start with 32, 32 plus 32 would be 64, and the last would be this one. So is it possible to get my 32 plus 32 is 64, but one less than that, it would be 63. So 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. So what you are able to see, it starts with 0 and ends with all ones. So that means I cannot provide the next address starting from 16, but I can provide the new address for the second block starting from the address 32 onwards, isn't it? So if I provide this from 32 onwards, my problem would be solved. So the address range from 16 to 31 is not utilized here, because you can see that this is what the problem it creates, and hence since it cannot be utilized. Okay, so the that address space would be wasted. Okay, so while subnetting, uh, there are certain restrictions. So the restriction is that the address in a block must be contiguous. So each address should be continuous. Okay, it should not be that for one host I am providing the address as one, and for the next host I am providing the address as 10. It should not be like that. It should always be in the continuous. The addresses should be continuous. The number of addresses in a block should be a power of 2. Okay, so I cannot have a block size of 3 or 7 or 8, 3 or 7 or 5 or something like that. It should always be a power of 2. Fine. Then the first address must be evenly divisible by the number of addresses. Okay, so in this example, the first address of the second block, that is the first address of the second block, which we have decided here, the first address is 17.12.40.16, and this is not evenly divided by the size of the block, which was 32. Okay, so since the after dividing, if I am not getting the remainder as 0, I cannot specify this address to the block of this 32. Are you getting this, all of you? Hello. When this number would be divided by 32, when you are having the least order, if it is 32, the lowest 5 bits of this number, if it is 0, then that means that number is divided by 32. This is what we all know. Okay, so in this 16, I don't have this 5 bits as zeros. I'll have only 4 bits as 0. So it implies that this, the third restriction, what is provided, that a number which the number, if it is divisible by the block size, then we can assign that number as the starting address of that particular block. Hope this is clear, everyone. So in the next lecture, we'll solve one or two more examples so that it would be still clear to you all. Okay. So we'll see one more example in the next lecture. Hope I'm able to explain you. Okay. I'm able to convince you. Okay. Fine. So, okay. Thank you. We'll stop here and we'll continue the next lecture.